Let's take another angle to that Texans suit being settled from Mike Florio on the Rich Eisen show and how it might affect Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson testified that their director of security, when he became aware that there was a woman who was suggesting she could expose Deshaun Watson on social media, instead of figuring out exactly what's going on, asking all the right questions, giving him all the right advice on how to change behaviors that could lead to those types of allegations, he just gave him an NDA to use, non-disclosure agreement. Here, you're going to go get these massages, have them sign this, and they can't go on social media and make threats about you. So I think that there needs to be a closer look at what the director of security did, what he knew, what he should have known. And this gets back to the double standard that we see sometimes between the way the league treats players and non-players. The league won't respond to the question of whether or not they investigated the Texans for personal conduct policy violations. The Texans won't respond. But at the end of the day, they settled 30 potential lawsuits, one actual and 29 potential lawsuits based upon allegations of their misconduct.
And with that, let's welcome in legal analyst Daniel Wallach, also co-host of the Conduct Detrimental show podcast. Daniel, a lot to unpack there. Take us through kind of the thought process as how the Texans suit may be relative to Deshaun Watson's.
Sure, but I'm beginning to think the title of your show, CLE, is really an acronym for continuing legal education. So you may want to set up a CLE program just for sports law, going forward if we get a few more of these cases. Mike raises a great point about a double standard and how, the league's treatment of other teams, other league executives and owners would be relevant in considering whether Deshaun Watson is being treated differently or disparately. That argument is on the table already in the case by virtue of the NFL's non-disciplining of Dan Snyder, Robert Kraft, and Jerry Jones. But the Houston Texans settlement is too late in the process to be considered. Under Article 46 of the collective bargaining agreement, this investigation or this disciplinary proceeding has to be based on evidence that the NFL is relying upon that was submitted more than 30 days ago. There's a 30-day cutoff window. It's right here in Article 46 that hearings conducted by the disciplinary officer under Section 1E1, which is the personal conduct policy, will be scheduled to commence within 30 days following the NFL's transmission of the investigative report or law enforcement report documents forming the basis for review to the player. So anything that the league is relying upon has to have been out there and provided to the judge and to the player more than 30 days prior to the hearing. So in a nutshell, anything after June 1st is too late to be considered for this disciplinary hearing, both offensively by the NFL and even potentially defensively by Deshaun Watson, because first of all, it's too early in the process to determine whether the NFL has properly investigated the Houston Texans. This is a recent development, and I think these settlements speak more to the issue of whether the Texans as an organization or any individuals within the organization should be disciplined by the NFL for violating the personal conduct policy or for conduct detrimental to the integrity of the National Football League. So that's a forward-looking issue as to the relationship between the league and the Texans. It has no bearing on the disciplinary determination as it pertains to Deshaun Watson, where the evidence window closed more than 30 days ago.